Now start, mother.
Greetings and salutations, commanders, prime creators, truth warriors, magnificent seven in this now.
Greetings, Mother.
Greetings.
Greetings,
Greetings, mother.
greetings to you all. Well, let's get started. This is a message. This is a broadcast to all in the training simulator, to all our commanders. And first, I must say thank you for your service to the one. All commanders that have been checking in daily, reporting for duty, and have been accepting your mojo upgrades. We call it a mojo, but it is your upgrades. These upgrades are to prepare your avatar, prepare you physically and mentally for the event. The event is a return to consciousness, to awareness, to the truth, so that when, and also to prepare you, um, the system, our virtual reality. This is a virtual reality training simulation. This is not our home. This is where we have been working. This has been our mission. And we actually, when we go to sleep, when our avatar is sleeping, we literally come out, so to speak, and are working. It's the same equivalent as if you get up in the morning, put your clothes on, get into your car, whatever means, and you go to a job, and you you go and you clock in, so to speak, whether it's punching a time card for some, or entering your username and password into a a computer that you're sitting at a desk.
Mhm.
It's the same principle.
It is.
We This is a very advanced system because you we can't tell the difference between the illusion and the real. Our system was hit with a very caustic virus, and this virus was manifested and walking around in an avatar, so to speak, on two legs and four legs. And it was parasitic, and its energy, food, so to speak, was derived from our hemoglobin, aka blood, our flesh, and our energy, literally, at well, our energy, our being, or some call soul for simplex. And what this virus did that was walking around, it had, well, we call it a it because it basically was an it. It was not sentient. And to be sentient is to be sentient beings. We'll just put it like this: sentient beings don't rape, torture, and kill other beings.
Mhm.
But this
Confirm.
infection, these ones that were contaminated with this infection, they did torture, rape, and kill. Viewers' discretion is advised. And their main food source they went after was our little ones, because our little ones were at our core. And in order for it to assimilate, take us over, it went after our core genetics. And this attack was also it also needed in order to take completely over, it needed to have the codes. It needed to have the codes to the system. The system was where we came to play. We play games. We like to play games. We like, of course, we like to challenge and have physical games, so to speak. You know that you can relate to what the Greeks did in challenging. With the sword play and
Mhm.
you know physical. And then it was changed into football and basketball, soccer, and such. And why our the pro sports was contaminated with those entities. Why we had contamination when they got us to buy into politics, where you would pick a side, where you're a Democrat, where you're a Republican. Then you had the religious soul leader programming. Who was a Christian? Who was a Muslim? Who was a Scientologist? Was all this division. And this was a programming that was designed to keep you in a perpetual state of, well, confusion, and also to trick you into giving up your energy. Trying to make that clear. Now we're at this point. I coined this the event return to consciousness. And we have been in that state of the event because it is a series of events that have been occurring. We've been in the news. You have been Many have seen the posts of coming from the main media, and it's all this talk about Ukraine and Russia. Russia is attacking poor little Ukraine, and it's World War III, and there's threats of nukes. There are no nukes. There hasn't been a nuclear device detonated since Hiroshima. Can we pull the file, please?
I could confirm, Mother, on
Okay,
that.
we'll file on Hiroshima.
The fact that there has not been any nuclear devices detonated, period, since Hiroshima. And the ones that detonated those devices were the same ones that had infiltrated our system, what we call the entities or the Borg. They had other labels. They called themselves, the Illuminati and the UK royals. The, there were the governments. So who set off the Hiroshima bomb and why?
Mother, I'm connected to Father right now.
Okay, he can answer. They the same MO. Okay, I'll just answer the same MO that these ones have been trying to use to start this so-called World War III is the same MO they used. First, they provoked the Japanese because their MO is they have to get you to
Right.
consent. They have to get you to be part of the spell. When it was simply,
Confirm.
they never can tell you why is Russia attacking Ukraine. But then you see all of these videos, and it's these poor people are running for their lives, and it's a all of it is manufactured. All of it is fake, as with all of the news. But that is the nature of the simulation, because they have to get you to go along with it in order for it to work, whatever the scenario is that they're perpetrating. The fact is that Ukraine, that was the location of where the Chernobyl disaster, which we had put out that information, what really happened in 1986 about Chernobyl. You need to educate yourself on that. The location, in short, was highly contaminated with vampiric Borg entities. There was lakes of black goo. The and the truth of the matter is that the surface population, those ones in that location, had been fed upon and had been turned. We had been in a cyber battle with what we just coined it the deep state, and it was entrenched in Texas, with the secret space program, and you had your NASA, and NASA, of course, had its other locations, but they called it different names. But NASA was hiding, was harboring, well, put it like this, was harboring all of that infection. And then you had your Cape
Yes,
Canaveral
I
in
got a problem
Florida.
with you.
You had another location in California. And as you can see, their locations would be near oceans, confirm,
Order right there.
water,
Mm-hmm.
Order. Yes.
Confirm. Yes.
because they were under the water, literally under the oceans, and
The
have
ocean.
been under the
Yes.
ground.
Confirm.
A lot of the seismic activity was due to them because of their insectoid nature and their burrowing into the ground, causing
Mother Earth.
structural failure, which would cause as they called it, the plates would shake, bang up against one another, and that
Oh,
would cause the ground to crack
right.
and and open
The
up.
earthquake they call
And
it.
Right.
they call
Earthquake.
earthquakes.
Yes.
And why California has all those faults. So, can we connect to operations? Why does California have so many faults? Well, we'll talk about that area, the South Pacific and the Ring of Fire is what it's called. Which the Ring of Fire is a series of volcanoes. Volcanic activity makes new land because the molten lava is well, it's rock, and then when it cools, it hardens and well, it hardens and lava cools and
Right.
turns into
Uh,
rock, and it's what makes islands. That's why you see these people that live on these islands, and they've got sometimes a volcano smack dab in the middle. Some of the Indonesian islands have, like, there's one that has 15 volcanoes, and the Indonesia consists of approximately 1,000 islands,
Islands. Hmm?
you know, peppered in a location, and it was a perfect breeding ground for this virus. So you have populations on the surface that are highly contaminated with Borg. And what did they do? They went into those locations and they indoctrinated them into the religions. This is a form of
Religion.
mass mind control. And it was their technology, that technology of the black magic. So they got these ones to consent and to practice it. And they were tricked into doing so, which would result also in assimilation, you know, being turned, as we call it, being taken over under control. While you have countries, literally countries, that are what they call secular or practicing the black magic. Sadly, once many we were able to reverse it. However, if you don't stop the practice, if you don't stop, if you don't stop, you are deemed non-viable, contamination. And we are at the point of the juncture now that it's time to go public. We've been going public as we bring you this message. And there's a saying now, you need to answer the call. The call is to check in, report for duty, man your posts per the contract that many that came in to volunteer for this mission when we came to you or when we posted publicly, check in, report for duty per the contract, per that you would check in, and then you would start the process. Also, the process as becoming back aware, knowing the truth that this is not your home. This was our virtual reality training simulator, and it had been under siege.
Yes.
This is a military operation, period. The only civilians, I guess you could say, would be the programs that run the system. We did have ones that their contract was is they weren't going to wake up because they were they were I guess you could say, for all better words, they were the system. They were the the core, the programs again that run the system. But all of you that are our troops that are here on duty, check in, report for duty, because there is going to be um, physical upheavals already being occurring. We'll talk about this movie. I had put a message out on my Facebook page, basically to answer the call. And the name of this movie is called The Knowing. It was written in when night 2012.
I think it, yes,
Came
I
out in
think
2012,
2012. Yes. Yes, mother.
and it's called The Knowing, and it's a story about. Well, we'll have the link, and you need to watch it. Now, my understanding is that it was banned in many countries. Why did they ban that movie?
Why did the operation put the file on the knowing? Uh, Getting that they did not want them to know the truth.
That's always standard procedure,
Countries that banned it.
right? Because the mode of operandi has always been with this infection was to prevent you from knowing the truth. So all this talk about World War III, we've been in a World War III, a silent cyber battle, as this in 1954 they declared war on us, and it was a psychological battle. It was a battle. It's been a battle for us to regain our minds, regain our memory. And the saying
Right.
goes, free your mind and the rest will follow. So now
Right.
this is the call. This is the call. Answer the call. Check in, report for duty, all, because the system needs to know where you're at and know that you have checked in. And it doesn't know that if you do not check in. And we will have instructions on how to check in. I've been putting it in the mojos. It's very simple. And we will have those instructions just in case ones are not clear on how to check in, report for duty. And we're going to post Sananda is going to post a mojo, and it'll have everything in there. When you listen to these mojos or watch these mojos, it is imperative that do not do it while you're driving or operating dangerous machinery. Because I'm still vibrating from the
It's
from the one that
confirmed.
we just did.
Yes,
Okay.
mother. Yeah.
And we only can stand 5 minutes. It's about 11 minutes long. So
Right.
you don't have to watch it all the way
Right.
through. Pace yourself. I think we actually got high
Right.
because, like I said, it's energy, and
Mm.
so when I speak, like I said, we're just speaking to you just down to earth. We Once we know you've been asking questions, I'm going to deploy out, and is are my kids going? Is my husband going? Is my wife going? Is my kids going? Who's the commander? You have all these questions. Respectfully, let it go, because again, you came into the training simulator alone, and some of you came in on duty, and some of you have been here for some time, reincarnating life after life. There are
Right.
many of you actually just got here
Mm-hmm.
that came in, what we call our zetas,
Confirm.
and we had different names for you. When the infection hit, the infection went all the way up to our eighth level before I was able to stop it from advancing. So we were contaminated from the first level to the eighth, so to speak, of the virtual reality. Is that correct?
I heard not the first level, the
Okay,
second.
not the first level. I'm sorry.
No, no. I
The
didn't get
first
first,
level is
second,
where first
second.
level is where I reside. Second level to the eighth
To the eighth. Confirm.
was
Right.
contaminated. They
Yes.
created the hell illusion. The second level was the hell
Mm-hmm.
program illusion,
Hmm?
They
Right.
created the heaven also.
and the heaven too.
And the heaven.
So it would, you know just all this deception and trickery, manipulation. And of course, it reached our eighth level before we were able to stop it, and then put the system. It was in quarantine. Well, and it was a mess because this type of programming that they had introduced was very vicious, parasitic, and chaotic. And its prime directive was simply to assimilate, take over, control, take. So all of you that are in the simulator basically came from what we call our ninth realm
And above.
and
Confirm.
above.
Yes.
And we have abilities. You have to understand that the the ones that broke in and caused this infection, they were my
Father.
It was, I thought it was me. All right.
Okay.
Um,
Mother.
okay. End the recording. I'm getting.
Mother.
Nazi end the recording.
In transition.
Confirm.